guys, welcome back to Stuart Fisher Golf Tuition. On this week's coaching video, I'm going to be giving you a little tip that you can try the next time you're at the driving range, which is going to help you make the change from the top of the backswing into the downswing and into hitting the actual golf ball a little bit easier. So one of the first videos that I made was about transitioning from the top of the backswing, getting the hip rotation into the downswing and how to generate more speed and to stop a few different bad shots. So it's basically get to the top and to turn the hips left and rotate through the golf shot. And it's quite a difficult one to try and do. And since putting that video, I've had a few people saying that they find it quite difficult to try and get that in their heads and how to break it down and make it a little bit easier. So today I'm going to be showing you a little drill. It's very, very simple. It's one that I do myself quite often and I seem to give a lot in my lessons. A little drill on how to break the swing apart and how to make these changes, especially transitioning from the backswing into the downswing, a little bit easier. It's one that you would try just on the driving range. It's not one to try straight on the golf course. So basically, the transition from backswing into downswing is a very difficult one. One of the reasons is because as you're looking at the ball, you cannot see what's going on up here, okay? So it's completely based on feel. So if you're trying to get the feeling of getting to the top, hips rotating, and you dropping that club down and through the shot, it's difficult to see if you're doing what you really want to be doing. And it's difficult to piece it all together straight away because you're generating that turn on the way back and then you're trying to power through. So it's happening very fast, it's split seconds, and you can't actually see what's happening. So a drill that I do myself all the time, and I seem to say a lot in lessons, but not only for transitioning from the backswing into the through swing, even just for working with tempo, working with the timing, trying to get any move. I find myself doing this a lot, okay? So what I would do is I'd be hitting balls at the driving range, and to break it down completely, I basically would get myself set up for the shot, and what I'm going to do is swing to the top and completely pause, completely stop there. Yep, get to the top, completely stop, and then start again. You're splitting the swing into two parts. You're getting that backswing nice, you finish that, stop, and now work on just the downswing. So myself, what I'm working on is actually working on my hip rotation, so I'm terrible for not getting any hip rotation, dropping the club inside and having a bit of a block. So I'm working on getting to the top, hips going left, dropping that club, getting my path a little bit minus and working on that little fade shot, getting my angle attack a little steeper. So for me, breaking it down like that works really well. So I swing to the top, completely stop. Well, if my backswing's fine, I'm happy with that, it's where I want it to be, and now all I need to focus on is paused at the top. My first thing that's going to happen is hips are going to go left, and then the upper body's going to fall in behind that, and I'm going to try and get everyone going one after the other. But I'm not trying to piece it together straight away because it's quite difficult to think from the start of the swing to then think back, hips, go. It's a bit much to think about at once. So a great drill for me that you guys can try as well. And I find anyone that's been struggling with their working on what I said in that video with the hip rotation, this is a brilliant one you can try at the range. So you get into your position, okay, you're going to swing to the top, pause, and then start again, and it breaks it into those two parts. And you can make the pause as long as you want. Ideally what you'll do is at the start, make it quite a long pause, and then as you start feeling a little bit more comfortable, you'll shorten that pause down, and then so all of a sudden it's pretty much just working into your actual golf swing. So I'll give you a wee demonstration. So I got a 7-iron here. I'm trying to work on getting my path a little bit left, not too far, and getting that ball fading back. So I'm going to swing to the top, pause, and then work on initiate the downswing with my hips. Okay. Probably a bit path a little bit too far to the left there. But strike was great, and it really broke that up for me. I didn't feel like I had any drop inside, and it wasn't wanting to block away out to the right. So I'm going to do that again. So in, set up. And it's a simple one you can do straight away at the range because you know you don't need any equipment, you don't need to set anything up. It's really just try to split the swing into two sections, okay? So you're going to break it up, and then you're going to try and piece it all back together again. So you're splitting it into backswing, stop, downswing and through the shot, and then you start piecing them back together. So here we go again. Okay, get to the top, pause, and try not to get my path too far left. So you can see, it's just for me, I struggle with these swing changes up here, as does everybody else. I struggle when I can't see the club. Do you know, it's very hard to actually picture what you're doing and what you're actually doing, and people can't video themselves all the time and have the luxury of all these numbers obviously all the time. So simple little drills like this really help. And if anything, if you're not working on hip rotation, it's a great one for just finding yourself a little tempo. I see so many golfers, they get to the top and they're so, you know, they're lunging at the ball, they're trying to hit it, they're trying to hit the ball before they're even finished their backswing. They're maybe getting to the top and they're early extending, they're pushing their hips forward, doing everything. This drill just reins everything in, it slows you down. Because you've got to have that pause, you can't be getting yourself out of control and getting to here and thinking, oh, I've got to go at the ball and hit it. You've got to get to the top, completely stop, and then you've got to start again and generate your power, you know, from the ground up, from the top, and then you're exploding through the ball. So I can't get myself out of position too much. So that one with a little left, not too bad. And then after that, you just start piecing it all back together again. So I've got a bit of a pause there. I've had the last 3 shots, I've really paused quite noticeably. So I'm going to try and take that away and just build it back into an actual swing. Yeah. It starts to make the feeling of what you're wanting to happen here a little bit easier because you're breaking it all down, you're breaking it into certain bits. So instead of having this big challenge of making this transition from backswing to through swing, you can break it apart, get to the top, completely stop. Yep. So that's you're in your position, you're happy with that, and then you go from there. And then you start trying to piece it all back together, you shorten down the pause. You know, maybe I get to the top, pause for 2 seconds and go, and then you pause for 1 second, and then you take the pause completely away. And if it doesn't go quite well, then you go back into it, you start pausing again. It really just helps just ease the transition from backswing to through swing. It's honestly such a good drill. I'd encourage everybody to have a go of it. See if it helps you. You might not be struggling with your downswing, but like I said, it can help your tempo. It can help you stop having all these wild movements where you're throwing the hips at the shot, or you're maybe coming over the top, or you're just getting halfway up your backswing and you're so anxious to hit the shot that you're gripping the club really tight and try to hit the ball before you've even finished your backswing and get your tempo way off. It slows everything down. And I wouldn't be, I was hitting it all right, but normally you get to the top, you pause, and you'll probably duff the first few. I've done this drill for quite a few years. I've been practicing it and using it and really love this drill, so it's quite normal to me, but it really just helps. You can see my club head speed had dropped a little bit, but it really just helps break everything down for me. So I get to the top, pause, and then I'm going at the ball and I'm going through it. It's just a great little simple drill you can do next time you're at the driving range. I really would encourage everybody to give it a go. If you're struggling with something like the transition from top backswing to your through swing, if you're struggling maybe with your tempo, give it a go. If you're just wanting to muck around, have a wee go of it, see if it helps you, strike it a little bit better, okay? So that's us for another week of SF Golf Tuition. I hope you enjoyed that video, picked up a little tip. It's one you can take straight to the driving range and try it. As always, give the video a like, share it, comment, let me know how you get on. I always like to hear how people if it worked well, if it didn't. I loved from the hip rotation video, I get loads of great feedback, and some people were saying, it made total sense. How do we make it easy at the driving range? Hopefully this will make it a little bit easier for you at the driving range. So please get back to me, let me know how it went for you. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next week.